We have Steve, Judith. What about Mr. Adams? Is he around? Bob?
I'm here. I'm
Hey,
here.
Bob.
How are you doing?
We need you tonight.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who are we missing?
Bethany's not here tonight.
Is Val here?
Val's here.
Okay. Oh, hi, Val.
And what about Zach and our council?
Zach is here. I did not see Liz yet.
All right, so we'll give her a couple minutes.
I don't see I don't see these guys on.
Liz Val's coming in now.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is the start of the HPARB Thursday, April 8th, 2021 regular meeting. Shall we start with the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Indivisible.
Did I start too soon? Okay, we'll just go with that. Minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 25th, 2021?
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Judith second.
Steve,
Yeah.
I second. Steve made the motion.
Okay.
Oh, well.
All right. Sorry, with the pledge, I wasn't sure if I started before everyone and it didn't. We'll just keep going. 128 Germain Avenue.
Brian's here.
Good evening, members of the board. Brian DeSessa, 2462 Main Street, Suite 7, Bridgehampton, New York, attorney for the applicant. When we were here 2 weeks ago, if I could screen share, please.
You can go ahead, Brian.
Thank you. We were here 2 weeks ago. We had set up a site visit to go out to the property. I did meet Mr. Studenroth and Judith out at the property to walk the property at 128 Germain. And so a few things that came of that meeting. We revised the application to now request that we replace the siding on the house with the Dutch lap, which is the side planking, which matches the existing garage area to the rear. Upon the site visit, it was noted that there's been several layers of siding, some added at different times, some badly burned with fire, but that this seemed like the appropriate treatment to the siding, that we would ask. The front door was to be repainted. The existing door was on site and viewed when we were there. All existing windows are to remain in place and in kind, as well as we've revised the application to now make the request, as I'm showing here with the mouse, to add a singular divided light door where we had the double doors last time with a set of stairs out to the yard.
Hey, Brian, can I just interrupt for a moment?
Yes.
Zach, based on your conclusions of looking underneath the hood, if you will, do you concur with everything that Mr. DeSessa said?
Yeah, we were there the other day, and I think there've been some good improvements, namely the single door, which was I guess, is that what you're discussing now, or have you moved on?
So
to
I'm just
the
asking about the
siding?
forensics and the
Yeah.
direction is appropriate as your
Yes.
investigation went, as far as
Yeah.
looking underneath the layers of.
Yeah, I think
of
we're back.
cheese.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we're
Great.
we're back in on top of
Fantastic.
this in terms of materials and the approach. Yes.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay, Brian, please continue.
Great. So I am showing you here, Mr. Williams, I wasn't able to impose this on a photo picture, but we just had it rendered in elevation to show where it's going to line up with the existing windows that are to remain. We've added the chimney, which is going, is going in the same position that the previous one was taken down. There's a piece of plywood up there now if you visited the site. So you'll see in person where that's going, and we've added it to all the elevations so you can see it from all elevations as to how it will portray at that
Okay,
point.
that's good, but it's covered with wood.
Correct. We were proposing
Well-
to shiplap. It's not a functioning chimney.
Well, the one that was demolished was presumably functioning at some point. It was part of the, fabric of the building, and it's one of the very few features that is kind of distinctive that you can see from the outside. And I think there's actually a house coincidentally next door that has a wood-sided chimney. And I was kind of surprised of relatively new construction, and it doesn't look appropriate in the historic district, and especially
Brian,
in this case.
Is that something you can handle? Can you change that
Yes.
material out
Yes.
to what was there before?
Yes.
Okay,
We
I mean, it
can-
doesn't have to be full brick because you're using,
We could use the same brick as the veneer finish
Okay.
on the.
enough said.
On the foundation.
Yes, we'll match that. That's not an issue. And I
Okay.
believe
yes,
we-
and for the record, what I'll note on the plans, as per the pictures, you'll return that
Yes.
chimney as to what it looked like originally.
that's correct.
Okay,
Sorry, please continue.
We also updated the landscape plan to show how the pool compliant fencing wraps the entire property and that the gate is not going to be visible from the street. The gate to the backyard is here off the driveway area. So we're proposing the hollies across and around, and the gate, which would close the loop, to be here at the end of the driveway, not visible from the street. We've updated the material list. We've given a section of what that gate would look like coming to the end there. And then color and material. And then with respect to the survey hasn't changed. We amended, let me rotate that. We amended last time just to conclude that the walkout part of the basement is compliant with setbacks, doesn't require any variances or otherwise. And that would conclude the updates from when we were here last, as to my notes, as well as along with the site visit.
Brian, I missed that. The spacing of the Ilex Coronado along the street, is that on the plan?
Yep, 1 second. It's 30 inches on center.
Mrs. Dow has that across the street, so I think it'll work
Yep.
pretty well.
Yep. And we continue that for the full screening of the property.
Thanks for working with us on this.
Absolutely.
Now, if we could just go back to that landscape plan again.
Yeah,
So the fence, you have that beautiful hedge. And then you have that wire fence in front of it. Is there any way we can get that wire fence along the street there to be on the other side of that hedge as it is across the street?
on this side tucked behind, you're saying?
Yep.
Yep, we can do that. I would submit that to the board, and if the board were inclined to approve it, we will make that change to put the street side fence to the rear of the screenings.
Great. So are you ready to hear comments from the board?
I am.
Judith?
I think it's a very big improvement, and I approve of all the ideas, especially the shiplap siding. I just want to point out that on the agenda, they use the word shingles, but I'm assuming that will be crossed out.
We
And it
approved the
will be-
plans, Judith, so whatever's on the
Yeah.
plans.
Okay, good. Then I think it's finally coming together very nicely.
Great. Steve?
So just to be clear, Brian, all the old layers of shingles that were or were not original will be taken off of the facade and they'll be replaced with this shiplap sort of siding.
That is correct. All the existing siding that's on site now will be removed and replaced with this.
Both the project scope and the presentation have improved remarkably, and I think I'm very comfortable with what's being advanced.
So that's a good point. Zach, we're
Yeah.
talking about the siding, right? Not the sheathing or the original sheathing, correct?
Right. Well, in this case, when we were inside the building, Judy and I, the other day, this shiplap siding that we're talking about is the entirety of the application of boards to the back wall. So I'm not sure about the side walls because we weren't able to inspect them. I'm just wondering if that existing layer of wood is removed and replaced, that doesn't give you very much siding on the house. I mean, this gets into the details of how the work is done. That layer of boards, if it's solid, could be resurfaced with new shiplap siding. I mean, that gets into a construction detail, but that's all there is in the original house, which I think the board needs to realize is the original siding is all that's attached to the structure. There's no additional layer of covering.
Even.
So,
Val?
I like
Comments?
it's a great application, and I think the chimney, if they could use that masonry veneer, I'd be on board with this and think
Absolutely.
it's motion worthy.
Mhm.
Bob Adams?
I think it looks good. I think the chimney, fix that up with what Zach has said. I can go along with that.
Great. Thank you for all the efforts. This is fantastic. It's nice to get this moving. Is there a motion to approve 128 Germain as per all our comments?
I make that motion.
I second.
That's Judy and Steve. Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
8 Dartmouth, we'll table that. We need a site visit with the board.
And actually, Tiffany Scarlato is now representing them, and she also asked for an adjournment.
Okay, great. I make a motion to adjourn 8 Dartmouth. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That's me and Steve
Thank you.
in that order. 125 Glover Street, please. 125 Glover.
I don't see him, Dean.
Sad little gate. Just want to get that approved. 68 Hempstead.
Good evening, Darius. I'm here. Good evening, Chairman and the board. My name is Darius Khan, and I'm representing Mary Norton and Robert Diamond regarding screened-in porch appropriateness application. The last time we spoke, we didn't have photos, and the board had requested to go and see the site. So I know, as per Carrie, the board went there this week, and I also have photos. May I share the screen, please?
I'll speak to the back of the house. Zach, we were there, I think a year ago when they were doing something that we approved.
right.
And we maintained the original windows and the sashes on the facade, the front facade. The back of this house is all replaced. They're all insulated
Yes.
windows, top and
All-
bottom,
All
doors,
rebuilt.
and I think simulated lights in some cases. So
Yes, yes.
just to throw that out there.
All right, you can go ahead and share.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so here are some photos of the house, and the concern was the privacy and the visibility from the street. So this is the view from the street right now. This photo. This is the view from a side on the left side of the house, and that's a view from right side of the house. On both sides of the house, on the left and on the right, we have privacy hedges and a fence. So on the right side, you can see the green giants that probably at least 16 or 20 foot tall. And
We're not seeing that.
oh no?
You have to go
No.
to the next page.
Yeah, we still have the front facade.
Oh, you still have a front? Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay, hold on one second.
sure.
Trying to figure this out. Okay, how about now?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay,
Died.
so here you go. That's so you see the green giants.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't even see the neighbor's house on that side. And let me show you the right side. And here's the right side. Can you see the right side?
Yes.
Mhm. Yes.
So here it is. On that side, we have a fence and some greenery from a neighbor's side. So it is completely not visible. So that's now you guys.
That's clear.
Yep.
Great.
Okay, so
Can we go to the rear?
sure. To the rear, to the back of the house, correct?
Yes, please.
Yep.
Hold on 1 second. I don't know why I'm only able to share one photo at a time. Learning. Thank you
What's
for
behind the
patience.
curtain?
Okay, so here it is. That's the back of the site. So we, the screening porch would start on our right side corner and go to the left 18 foot and would end up somewhere where this sconce lantern is, in this position. So
Can you
12
quickly go to the architectural drawings?
Sure. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
That's
Survey.
okay. Hold on. And here's a drawing. So on a 3D, I guess this is the idea that we're planning on doing. The whole porch will have screens, 2 doors. We will match the house materials throughout. Whatever we have on the house, for instance, white trim, we're going to use that on posts and columns. We use pressure treated posts and we will wrap them with the same material as the house white trim is existing. Yeah, so it's just a simple rectangular box, not visible from the street.
Great. Judith, comments?
I'm curious about what's on the roof.
The roof, we have 3 skylights on the roof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
for the light to come in.
Yeah, well, I think the main factor is that this cannot be seen by the neighbors, I gather, or by passersby. And so if it can't be seen, it seems to me that these people can do what they would like, I think.
Val, comments?
Yeah, I would, I want to echo what Judith just said. Folks are going to gather outside. It'll be a nice way to contain, activity and conversation. So I'm fine with it.
Great, thank you. Steve?
Is this proposed area enclosing a swimming pool? Is this like a lanai?
I'm sorry, there's no swimming pool on the property.
Okay.
It's on existing deck.
It's on the top of existing deck, basically for mosquitoes protection.
Fine, I have no objection.
Bob?
I have no objection. It looks good.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So I make the motion to approve 68 Hempstead Street. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that was me again and Val.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
69 Redwood Road, please. '69 Redwood, solar panels. We can second call that. 43 Suffolk. 43 Suffolk Street.
Yes, this is Tim Deline. I represent the owner at 43 Suffolk Street. May I share my screen, please?
That'd be great. I think we were just left with the details of the fencing.
That's right.
You can go ahead, Tim.
Okay, great. Just as a reminder, what we're looking to do is replace an existing metal fence at 43 Suffolk Street that's on the front, and I'll show a survey of this where this is going, but it's going to replace the exact location of the metal fence. We're going to replace it just like the fence at 27 Suffolk Street, and then we're going to replace the stone pathway and the stoop on the front and the side with a coat of stone, just like 27 Suffolk Street. It was requested at the last meeting that we provide architectural details. So we have done that. We have a couple pages of architectural details, and I would like to share that as well. So just
I never understood that metal fence, I have to say.
Okay, great. Can you now see the architectural drawings?
Yes.
Pages of them? Okay. So this is 43 Suffolk Street. This is Suffolk Street down here. There's a fence is replacing, and we called it out. It says new wood fence painted white. We'll replace the existing metal fence along the front. New path and platform and coat of stone replace existing stone path and platform. And this is on the front and the side. Oops, let's see. It's just a little slow. Just bear with me 1 second. So it's the front and the side. If I go to the next page shows the details of the fence. And this basically matches the fence at 27 Suffolk Street. And then the third page just shows and highlighted and calls out where these wood fence is, where the stone paths are, and that is replacing the metal fence.
Sure, this is great. I just wanted a detail for the inspector and for our files. So we'll go through the board. Judith?
Oh, it looks good.
Val?
Looks great.
Steve?
A good upgrade.
Bob?
Looks good.
Thanks for helping us out and providing the drawings that we asked for.
Thank
Is there a motion to approve 43 Suffolk Street?
I move.
Is there a
I
second?
second.
All in favor?
second.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That was
Aye.
Steve and Bob.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
The second call for 69 Redwood, solar panels. 103 Main Street, please.
I don't see anybody for them.
Okay, we'll put a second on that. 227 Main Street, please.
I think he's on a phone.
Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Steve.
Kosek here. Hi.
Please state your name for the record and tell us about your project.
Stephen Kosak. The three parts. So put a fence on the kind of east side of the property to shield me from a neighbor who's cut down everything in sight. A 6-foot fence. And it ends where my porch, so it's contiguous with the side of where the side of the house would meet the property line. Cut down a tree that unfortunately is old and hollow and a bit dangerous, and then add an addition on the back of my house, a kind of solarium.
Carrie, are there photos and drawings that you can show the board?
There was a site visit a couple of days ago. I think everybody came.
Yeah, this is being recorded and
Okay,
important that we show
Okay.
the information.
great.
Dean, I'm sorry, what did you ask me?
Do you have any information regarding 227 Main Street, regarding drawings and pictures that
Yes.
you can share with us? to refresh the board.
Yep.
Guess there are several things. There is the fence, the solarium. This is another one where the solarium is behind the house and cannot be seen. The property is surrounded by basically hedges, and then a fence extending from the front of the house towards the rear.
Can you see it?
Just we don't see the graphic.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Oh,
There it is.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then photos in the fence, and there is a photo rendering of this, or
Yeah, I'm
representation of this.
just looking for that from the past meeting.
It's just very simple paneled fence, that fits in between the posts so that both sides are of equal quality.
He has a beautiful garden that he'll just sit in the middle of it and enjoy it. So
Yes,
both times of the year. I think it's
Yeah.
Thanks.
a fun idea.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
I'm glad to submit a final rendering for you guys to see in any case, but I think you'll like what I'm planning to do. It's going to be appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna need to see a final anyway.
Good, that's fine.
It won't let me go back into the other meetings. Just pull it up.
The fence thing was sent Carrie after the last meeting.
Okay. Found it.
Oh, good.
Oh, there we go. Good.
There you go. Can you see the fence?
We can see the
Yes.
fence.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the photo rendering of the solarium would be great.
When did you send that to me, Steve?
Oh, that was early.
Okay, that's what I can't pull up is from, but I'll look. Hold on.
So did you all have a chance to see the photo rendering of this solarium, this small structure off the back of this house?
Yep. We saw that at the site visit.
Yep. And in the files in the shared sink. And then Zach reviewed the window that would be impacted by this solarium, and he stated that it was not original to the
It's
house.
not historic. No, there's no impact on the historic building.
Oh, that's good.
So we could probably move forward if everyone's comfortable. Judith, comments?
Yeah, it looks very nice to me. I think it will be so nice. So I'm fine with it.
Val?
Yeah, it's a nice embellishment to the house, and as Zach said, it's not going on to a historic portion.
No.
Steve?
No comment.
Bob?
think it looks good.
I think it's a fun idea. I think you'll enjoy it. Is there a motion to approve 227 Main Street?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
So that's Judith and Val.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Hey, one question. Does this also say that I can take down the tree?
The
We didn't discuss it.
the tree is severely damaged. There is a letter in the file, and there's a hole that goes down the core of that tree, almost like a column of emptiness. So that is dangerous. It's leaning towards the house, so I have no issues with that.
Great. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye. Bye.
So second call, 103 Main Street, Sag Pizza. And the third call and last one, 69 Redwood. I make a motion to table 69 Redwood. Is there a second?
Second.
That's me and Steve. And then Sag Pizza, I make a motion to table 103 Main Street.
Second.
Steve again. Thank
Second.
you. All in favor with those two?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Great. Thank you.
What about number 858 Palmer Terrace?
That's removed from the agenda.
It is, okay, thank you.
Okay, the next one is Sag Harbor Yacht Club, number 9.
I don't see Dennis Downs for this.
Okay, we'll try a second on that. And then 38 Meadowlark Lane, please.
Oh,
38 Meadowlark.
They're getting on now.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Hello?
Hi, James.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Not bad.
Please state your name for the record, please, and tell us about your project.
Okay, this is Jim Grimes representing Todd Breen at 38 Meadowlark 4. At this point, relocation of some existing retaining walls that were put less than 3 feet for the property line, doing some screen planting to screen the neighbors, some planting between the wall and the property line. And there is on that plan 2 proposed trees at the street. We had discussed with Dee Yardley some time ago, there is a maple out on the street that's kind of health and safety hazard. It is a Norway maple with some included bark conditions. It is shown at your top right of the proposed site plan.
Right, we still do not have that document in our file, but we can work something in and we can go forward with this.
Yeah, Chairman, the important thing for us here tonight is to try and move forward with the issues with the retention and get these people's backyard put back together.
I appreciate the fact that the landscape plan is reflecting the appropriate spot for the retaining wall. We could have a conditional approval on the Norway maple if Dee Yardley and the village arborist agrees with that. There's a double trunk tree. It is a hazard. It's just a matter of time before the 2 leaders break off. There's a twin leader system that's not structural for that tree. As far as any other trees to be removed on village property and drainage and all that other stuff, that's not before us tonight, so I wouldn't mind
No,
going
yeah.
that way if you agree.
No, I would agree. Chairman, the reason we didn't try and move forward with any of the other issues is simply for the fact that we didn't want to overly encumber this discussion, because as you all know, this is something that's basically been sitting out a while, and we want to sort that out. I know that Catherine Fee has some applications she wants to put before you guys, but it was important to get this sorted first.
So I would propose to make a motion to approve one red maple tree. That's the one, I guess at the west end of the front of the house, and the
And we didn't hear you. What did you say?
two red in the back. I guess that would be the southwest corner,
Okay.
and then the red maple at the eastern corner, the northeastern, if you will, along the street. And then as far as the removing the Norway maple, that we could approve that pending a written letter from D. Yardley and the village arborist saying they concur with the fact that this tree needs to be removed.
I second the motion.
I made it. Steve, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Great, you too. Second call, Sag Harbor Yacht Club.
He hasn't come on yet.
Okay. 12 Amity Street.
Hi, Mr. Chairman. This is William Betts representing my sister Elizabeth Betts on the project. This is the historic barn or shed or carriage house, as the historian has referred to it, at 12 Amity. And so we've had approval on the project for the house, and now we seek approval for the barn. We've revised the plans to show the removal of the window. We've updated the notes to reflect prior discussions, and we've sent along both paint samples, the historic red that was on the barn, and the new sample of the Benjamin Moore color that we agreed to with the neighbor.
So I'll jump ahead here. We can work out the details if we have to, but the way I see it, we're at paint color. And as far as a couple notes on the plans might have to be adjusted, we have a resolution that was put together by our council and our historian to reflect, tying the rehabilitation of this structure to the standards set forth by the Secretary of Interior. And there are several pages of that. Did you have a chance to review that resolution? Applicant?
Me? No, I haven't received a copy of that.
Dean, we typically wouldn't give that to the applicant. I think Liz.
It's in draft form. So until you guys decide, that you're going to move forward with it, I typically don't share it with the applicant until you've decided to move forward with it. I don't know, whether you're going to approve or deny something until the night of the meeting.
Okay, let's start with the color, and then I'll ask the members if they had reviewed the resolution. Can you, someone, show us the color that you wish to paint the barn?
Yep, I'm pulling it up now.
Can I ask a question while that's being accessed? I remember that your neighbor was part of the presentation last week. Is your neighbor available today, or do we have anything in writing from him assuring us that he's agreed to this color? I think that was the point of partially of your returning, was to negotiate with your neighbor. Do you have any document like that?
I have not received, he was in the process of drafting a final document which would represent three aspects to our agreement. One was the removal of the tree. The second one was the moving or the removal of the window. And the third piece was the paint color. I have not received the final document from him, but we have been in discussion, and to the best of my knowledge, we're in agreement on all three issues.
Steve, it was a matter of not painting the barn red.
Correct.
Right. I mean, I remember it, but I part of my memory is that this was calendared because to give them time to discuss these things and to have a representation that they were in agreement.
Crux of this thing was the color. The neighbor does not want a red barn. He wants it to be innocuous and kind of go, fade away. And then for us, we wanted a resolution written to stipulate how this barn would be reconstructed, rehabilitated, if you will, using the standards that's set forth by the secretary, which is super important. That includes site visits by a building inspector, and we're not just taking boards off, remilling them and putting them back. It's putting this barn back as it is on the two sides.
Right.
Okay, so applicant, can you just please tell the board what your plans are regarding the color of this barn?
Okay, so there are three colors that I'm showing you. The first one is a sample taken from the barn itself, which is the red. And that's taken off of, there's indications or trace elements of that color on several places on the facade. And so that color was taken off, sampled, and presented here. The second color shown is kind of an averaging of the existing colors of the facade. And this is done on a computer, taking photographically several samples from the facade and averaging them. And the third sample, the Briarwood, is an existing Benjamin Moore from their historic palette. And that is the proposed paint color that we would obviously like to paint the barn. And we have spoken with Frank Ahimaz, our neighbor, and Frank is in agreement with that color. All three are basically the same color value. And so to us, it's a good compromise. It's a similar color value to the barn as it is today. And it also is a similar color value to the red, while being less obtrusive and agreeable to the neighbor.
I'm ready to go on this. I want to go ask the board how they feel about this, where we've come so far with this barn. I think the resolution set forth by Liz here is fantastic. It basically is reiterating what the Secretary of Interior really requests as far as restoring something of this nature. And then the color, I think we can make that decision tonight, and I guess you would have a chance. We could, I guess, vote on this, and then you would have a chance to review the resolution. And if there's a problem, I guess you can always come back. Val, do you have any issues?
No, I read the resolution, and I think it really well describes, how to refurbish this structure. And so I think that looks good. With regard to the color, I would like to suggest that it's not the red.
Great. Steve?
I'm fine with what Val just said.
Judith?
I think the resolution is excellent, and it really spells out how everything is to be preserved, if possible. As far as the color goes, I'm obviously I'm willing to go along with the majority. I just would like to say that I would prefer the red, and I consider it to be the most historic color. And I don't know, as the neighbor should be able to say what color somebody else's barn should be. But then I would also suggest that if you did go with the red, you could paint his side of the barn Briarwood and make him happy. So that my feeling about the Briarwood color is that I don't know as any barn from back in those days was ever painted that kind of color. Zach could probably speak to that. It seems barns are either like have no paint on them because it's all worn off, or somebody goes along and covers them with New England red paint.
Yeah.
I would like to restore this barn before it does fall down. Bob Adams?
I'm going to go along with the coloring as long as the neighbor is, he's satisfied with it.
So I'd like to thank Liz and Zach very much for all their detailed work on getting us this far. I would make a motion to approve the Briarwood and the resolution. Of course, applicant, you will have a chance to review that and get back to us if there is an issue.
I'll send that to you.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you to the board for your help. I appreciate it.
Thanks for all the detailed trips to the site to review this wonderful barn. Thank you.
Thank you.
New business. Hillary Collins, 203 Main Street.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello,
Can
how
you
are
hear
you?
me? Hi.
Just state your name for the record, please, Mrs. Collins, and what your application regards.
Yes, it's replacing the shingles on the siding of my house. They're just rotting, and I just want to replace them as much in cedar and looking very similar to what's being taken off. I regard it as maintenance of the house.
So I will set this up.
Yeah.
This is a situation where her contractor removed siding without board approval. And there is one side that is left, and I hope that will be left intact. You can sand and paint that. I also asked the applicant to address the shutters. Evidently, they're in her basement and they're being sanded and painted at the.
Yes, I'm the owner, and the shutters are in the basement. They were being painted and repaired as some slats had fallen in storms, etc. And then with the lockdown, the contractor then couldn't put them back, and they're stored in my basement, ready to go back when the siding is done.
So you can go to Google and you can see that the front of this house, I was there with Zach and Judith and Bethany, obviously at different times. The front siding has been removed and had been replaced with shingles. So Mrs. Collins, if you can tell us that you're going to keep the original shingles that are left on this house and sand and repair those, we can talk about, we'll have Zach discuss this, and we can go forward with this application.
At the moment, the side that has the shingles on the house when I bought it are on the north side of the house, and they are very rotted. I was doing repairs like that, patching the shingles a year ago when I had to stop work on the house, and it was beginning to look like a patchwork, really.
Mrs. Collins, as far as the original shingles on that one side, we would have to make another site visit.
Yeah,
to determine.
I understand. Yeah, I'm happy to have your advice. I just didn't know I had to go through this process. So I guess I just didn't know this, and I hope that the contractor would advise me that about the process. But so I'm sorry to have gone forward without your approval, and I want to keep the house as much intact as a historic house as it is, and that's what I thought I was trying to do. I understand there was a fire in the house some time ago, and there was a lot of damage to the underneath the shingles. So I'm not too sure, what the right thing to do at this moment is.
I would like to move forward on this because your house is exposed.
Yes, it is.
As far as what has been removed and
Yes.
you've replaced with new sheathing, we can vote on going forward matching that north side. As far as the north side is concerned, the original shingles that are left, we will have to go back and take a look at that. So we can approve everything that's been removed. We can talk about that, but that's as far as we can go tonight.
Yes. Okay. I understand my contractor left a sample of the shingle we were thinking of using, or was ordered for the house, and I believe it's in your office or there. I'm sorry, he's not here to represent me, and I'm kind of.
Collins, he did do that. We do have a sample of it.
Okay.
Can you hold it up, Carrie? Do you have it?
Yeah, I have
Can we
it.
see it? Let's see it.
You also got it in your shared sink, so that's the problem, that not coming into the office and seeing it.
Carrie, we can resolve this tonight. We need the same exact weather as the original. We have to match the original in kind, and we can go forward. It's just we're not removing any more siding from this house. We didn't grant any to begin with.
This is the siding. Can you see it?
No,
we're still looking at the north side of the house.
She's holding it up.
Yeah, you have to see it from my.
Is it 24 inches long?
Yep. No, it's not 24 inches. No.
It's not long enough.
But I think it looks like it's broke off. Like they did saw it off.
We're going to have to go in and take a look then.
Mrs. Collins.
Yes.
Very important. If you want to discuss that north side, we can meet with you and your contractor and our consultant.
Yes. Okay. I'm happy that you can advise me with this at this point.
So why don't we table this and go back and review the north side so we can do this all in one shot, or you'll have to.
Yes.
Okay.
It's 16. It's a little less than 16 inches.
Yeah, no. It's not going to work.
Let's do that. So Mrs. Collins, we'll set that up as soon as possible with you.
Okay. So I'm here all the time, so I'm available, and I'm happy to have you come and help me with this.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I make a motion to table 203 Main Street. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed. So that was me and Steve. Sag Harbor Yacht Club,
Dennis is here now.
Mr. Downs, Sag Harbor Yacht Club.
Unmute, Dennis.
Dennis, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So Dean, I'm the next door neighbor to Hillary's house that you just talked about. I have no objection to what she's doing. When you go back to look, you're going to see that a lot of the shingles that are on the north side are cracked and so weather worn that it's time for them to come down. They've outlived their usefulness.
I appreciate your advice, but we have to go out there.
I just hope that you take that into consideration. I think the whole house should be redone. But anyway, so get on to Sag Harbor Yacht Club. We're taking the existing gate and it's on an angle, and we're going to make it straight. That we're bringing it closer to a parallel line. Excuse me, it'll be perpendicular to the picnic area that's there. You see that there's a tented area.
Are there graphics that we can look at?
Yeah, we submitted everything. I gave you photographs of 5 or 6.
Well, will you be presenting that to the board tonight, or shall we ask Carrie to?
If Carrie could do it, I'd appreciate it. It's what we're doing is moving the existing gate. We're not building anything new. But it's on an angle right now, and it doesn't satisfy the needs of the club. And while Carrie's looking for that, could you authorize Zach to go to 42 Bay Street? We put an application in several weeks ago, and there's an 1800 salt box, and then there's a 1980 addition. The addition is an abomination, and we want to take it down and rebuild it.
Ooh, great.
Contact the building department tomorrow, and they can walk you through our process.
Okay. Well, yeah, I called today, and they said it was. I think that you have to authorize Zach to go.
No, I didn't, Dennis. I said that they don't need to authorize it anymore.
We
That
have-
would
Oh,
make
that's
it-
right. You said you don't need to authorize it.
Excuse
So-
me, this is not the venue for this. We
All right,
need
no
to
problem.
stay on task.
Okay.
These meetings can go on for hours, and people are concerned about that.
Carrie, were you able to find the photos?
I'm looking right now.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think you sent me a PDF copy because I didn't have it for the board to review last night.
Do you have a PDF of anything?
If you didn't send it to me, no.
Well, I'm pretty sure I would have sent it to you with the PDF application,
Okay, I'm looking.
all in one package.
You would have had to email it to me.
All right, well, I'll have to do it in the morning then. Well, unless I can find it right now. Let me just see.
All right, well, I'm still looking. Actually, you know what? You guys had a picture of this last meeting.
Yeah, I remember it from the last meeting.
You're right. Yep.
Seeing pictures.
Yeah, there was still snow on the ground when I took it.
Yep. I have it right here.
Yeah, that's it. So I don't know whether you can see the fact that it is on an angle. It's closer on the left side than it is on the right side, so to speak. And that canopy is just sitting over a bench, and the entrance gate is to the left, right there. So the right-hand side or the east side of that whole structure would move closer into the parking lot without losing any spaces.
Is there a survey of how this is all working out?
Yes,
There you go.
that's existing conditions.
And the new location, is that on the survey?
I believe so. Yeah,
Can't really see it.
it's kind of going too fast for me.
Well, you can't really see it.
All right.
On
Yeah,
this.
it's not much of a move. I mean, it's like 4 feet on one end, and that's about it. And that'll straighten out the line. So where you see those two cars parked there, that corner would move closer, would move towards the parking space. And we're using the same material that's there. We're not putting any new material in. We're just cutting the posts, putting a new post in and moving it as is.
Honestly, I don't remember seeing this, and I'm not sure if it's on your property or what's going on with the parking places. So if you don't mind, if we take another 2 weeks on this and get back to you on that.
Okay, the parking stalls, that's the village parking lot that we share with the village and the sewer treatment plant. And we have, where those blue lines are, that's our property. And everything to the west of that is ours. And we have parallel parking along the bulkhead or the walkway that runs along the bulkhead.
I just want to take another look with the building inspector and other board members may want to also. You know, there are no architectural drawings saying that you're going to move it over. It looks like it's built already. I'm not really sure.
Well,
But I
that's
just wanna
been
make
there for the
sure-
last 30 years. That gate has been that way for over 30 years, and we're just going to angle it differently. It gives us more room behind the gate.
I just want 2 weeks to make sure everything's copacetic.
That's fine, no problem.
Great. It looks fine to me. Board, do you all agree? We just take another 2 weeks to make sure everything's in, all the ducks are in a row? I think that
agree.
is yes.
I agree, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I make a motion to table Sag Harbor Yacht Club, and Dennis will work on your other issue.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'll call Kerry tomorrow.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that was Steve and myself again. 41 Robeson, we're good. I make a motion to table that. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There's just some clarifications that we need from zoning on that project. 12 Latham Street.
They table 41. Hold on. 41 Robeson?
Yes,
Yes, that's us.
that's tabled.
What does it mean?
We need clarification on that. We can't make a ruling on that tonight.
Okay, and are we gonna get notification on what kind of clarification do you need?
I think this clarification needs to come from the building inspector. It looks like the deck is not within the allotted setbacks of the village. So it's problematic. So we can't really talk about that unless we know that everything is in line with the code.
Oh, got it. I thought it was reviewed. Okay. Okay, so
So I
you guys
contact
give-
Carrie and the building inspector, and we need to know as a board that you're in compliance somehow.
Okay. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you. 12 Latham Street, please.
Yes, Sean Leonard, the architect for 12 Latham. I also have Bill Cummings, and the owner, George Jasma, is also on.
Great. Can you walk us through your project?
Yes, I'm going to just pull up. So what we're looking to do here, can you see?
Not yet.
Yep.
Here we go.
Okay. Does it keep jumping?
No.
Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay. So for 12 Latham, we're looking to leave the existing house as is. We're not changing any windows or doors. The siding is to also remain, but instead right now it is a gray color, and we like to paint the house white with the white trim. The roof right now is a wood roof that does need to get replaced. It is in disrepair, so we're looking to just replace it with a new red cedar wood roof. The hedge that is along 12 Latham right now, it's about 6-7 feet high. And so you really cannot see the house from the street. So we like to take that hedge, the existing hedge, and cut it down so that it would be a 4-foot high hedge along Latham Street. But then as we turn the corner, just so we have some privacy to the backyard, we'll leave the hedge as is. So you can see we just have a transition moving as the hedge would move up to just give some privacy to the back of the house. We have 2 hedges that'll be on the inside court area, and I'll bring that. See if I can bring that. Do you see the site plan?
Not yet.
Not yet. Share there. See now?
Yes.
Okay. So we want to bring, to match the existing privet hedge, we would have a hedge that would run right along here with a trellis in the middle, and then we have another hedge towards the back of the house. All of this would not really be seen from the street, especially this one would not be seen from the street. And just to give some privacy to the back here, with the same matching arbor trellis that would be in between.
Liz, there's a structure in the front yard that's over 4 feet high. Can you elaborate on that?
You mean the trellis?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd have to get an interpretation from the building inspector whether the trellis constitutes a fence and therefore cannot be 4 feet high in the front yard.
So that needs
Meaning
to be
because of
clarified
Roger
for us,
Street?
please.
I'm sorry.
So you have a couple front yards here.
Right.
So your structure can only be 4 feet high if it is in fact regarded as a fence. So you need an interpretation from our building inspector to tell
Okay,
us
so-
what that structure is.
So aside from that structure there, which I'll go back and I'll speak to him about that. If we were to, what about the rest of the application as far as painting the house white, changing the side, the roof to a new cedar roof, and cutting down the hedge?
What is the material and the status of the roof at the moment?
It's a wood roof right now.
So you would return with new material. It would be like in kind, exactly. You just
Exactly.
have new material on the roof. It'd be
That is correct.
exactly this. And the color white. Do you have a sample of that white?
We're thinking decorator white for the exterior.
Zach, do you have comments?
I don't know what decorator white is, but if it has the right kind of sheen to it, which is not flat, but it's kind of a semi-gloss, I think a white outside sounds fine. Sounds appropriate.
It would not be flat.
Okay.
Judith?
I think it all sounds like it's going to make it more pleasant and quite nice. I like
Val?
the idea.
Mr. Architect Val, do you have comments?
I agree with what Judith just said. Yeah.
Fantastic. Steve?
I'm very happy to see somebody open up their front yard and reduce down to a 4-foot privet hedge and to welcome their neighbors in the world in. So I think it's a great plan.
Well
Yes.
said, Steve. Bob?
Yes, I agree.
I think it looks good.
Great. So we just have that one issue with the arbor, the open arbors, what in fact what they are, what they're considered regarding interpretation by the building inspector. So I make that motion to approve this application as presented, except for the arbors.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's myself and Steve. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
26 Main Street. '26 Main. I guess second call, 26 Main Street. 356 Main Street, please.
Yes. Can you hear us? Hi.
Yes.
This is Yorgos Tsibiridis and Alisa de France. We're the owners of 356 Main Street, and we are proposing to the board to paint the exterior of the house by changing from the current yellow color to a white palette color. And then the second thing is replacing the overgrown right now bushes in the front of the house with boxwood and hydrangeas, which is like to the left of the house, and then also add a 6-foot fence on the back right corner of the property, which is going to extend from the back corner of the property all the way up to the back of the house.
Do you have graphics of all this, the color? Do you have a
Yes.
sample?
We have submitted everything to Carrie.
Carrie, do you mind bringing that up for us?
Oh, it's in black and white.
Yeah.
So the white wisp is a very, very, very light white with a touch of gray.
I can scan it with color. Just give me a minute. You guys can
Sorry
continue
about
to
that.
talk.
And the trim is Chantilly lace, which is the whitest of whites of Benjamin Moore. Door and shutters, thundercloud gray, which is a light gray. And the deck is whale gray, which is a little bit of a darker gray. And changing the rhododendron overgrown in the front with boxwood and hydrangea, better suited for the village.
And the house.
More manicured look.
Would
Is
trying
is
to
there
go for
is there a
cleanup.
landscape plan?
I drew it myself on one of those images there. I just right along that white picket fence to do, 4 boxwoods and behind hydrangea.
It's
So everything
important
is
that
going behind.
we have that because the
I drew it if
have to be
she
3
has,
feet off the property line inward.
well, the
Oh yeah. It's going behind the fence.
behind the white fence.
Okay, we'll
I
start with
don't
the
know if
color.
it's
Carrie's coming back with the color.
okay. And then the fence in the backyard on the right side
We
of the
just need to be
property
able to
line.
follow the drawings so everyone understands.
Okay.
So Carrie, we're gonna start with the color.
Okay. Hold on 1 minute.
I think she mentioned 3 colors.
Gray.
Oh, here we go. Oh, it's upside down. That's okay.
I can flip it.
Oh, the color is still black and white?
Yeah, the color's not coming up because it's. I don't remember why the color isn't coming up. You're not gonna be able to see it.
Okay, let's talk about the fence.
So you scroll to the backyard. Oh, so there's my little sketch of the hydrangea and boxwoods. Scroll down the other way, I think it was.
I think she means up, Carrie.
Yeah, go scroll up. Right there, stop. Go back to the blue, my drawing of, scroll up, yeah. So there's just the blue circle indicates the hydrangea and the square box indicates the boxwoods. Right in front of the front porch and between the white picket fence and the front porch. To replace
So as far
that
as the hydrangea is concerned, what kind of hydrangeas are they?
It's the scroll up. I wrote the name of it there. If you could just scroll a little bit the other way. I'm sorry. It's the endless summer hydrangea.
And then can you show us where the fence is proposed?
So, okay, scroll the other way. Right there, the brown line. So if you scroll a little bit more, you'll see the back and that left side already have a 6-foot fence. It just stops. It must have been damaged at some point. So I just want to continue that to enclose the whole backyard.
The same fence?
The same fence, 6-foot wooden stockade fence.
And how do the gates work? Are there gates?
So there's a gate on the left, right in front of the driveway. That's about a 3 or 4 foot high white picket gate, which we would keep.
Okay.
You can see it a little bit right there.
Right.
Oh yeah, to the left, you see it at the end of the driveway.
Yep.
So the colors are important. So,
Dean, I just sent them to you. I just sent you a picture, a text of them. I can send them. I think I have everybody else's phone numbers too, I think.
We're basically matching 219 Division Street is some colors that we really liked. It's a white with a gray tint, the house color. And
so if you look at my phone, the white color, there's the lightest one.
yep,
Where does that color go?
that's the trim where you see white now. So the white is just replacing the white trim that's already there.
And the second
And it's
color?
a pure white,
This, sorry?
the second.
Oh, the second color, what is that labeled?
That's the white
That's
wisp.
the white wisp.
And where is that color being applied?
That's replacing the yellow.
Okay, and then the gray, the top gray?
Is the front door
And the shutters.
and the shutters.
And the bottom color?
The bottom color is the
floor of the porch.
floor of the porch.
And that's
Which is very similar to what's there.
Yeah, it's similar to what's there. I just picked whale gray because I like the name actually. Whales represent Sag Harbor.
Kind of innocuous. The hydrangeas have to be 3 feet off of your property line, the center of the plant from the property line.
Okay.
Okay.
Val, do you have comments?
I like it. I like the soft white. You know, it's a very muted white, and I think much better than the faded mustard color.
Steve?
That's
Val said it perfectly.
Judith?
I love that house, and I think it's going to look even better when they have the paints that they have picked.
Oh, thank you.
I think it looks really good. It's gonna look really good. Thanks.
Good luck with your new house. Is there a motion to
Thank you very
approve 356 Main Street?
I approve 356 Main Street.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
That's Bob and Val.
I beat you, Judith.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
26 Main Street. 11 Washington Street. 11 Washington.
Isn't that a new sign? Do we
Yep.
have that? Okay.
Okay, we'll second that. 12 Montauk Avenue Extension. 12 Montauk. Second that. 55 Archibald Way.
Yes, good evening, Chairman and Board. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, my name's Hamish McGowan. I'm the owner and our family are the full-time residents of 55 Archibald Way. Kerry, could you be so kind to share our landscape plan with the board, just so they have that up for this evening? Tonight, we're currently halfway through a major renovation, which has already been approved and permits issued. Tonight, we're sharing the accompanying landscape plan. And Kerry, do you have access to that? Kerry, can you hear me? Chairman, I'm not quite sure if Kerry's there, but she does have the PDF full landscape plan and planting list with her. I think here we go. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kerry.
You're welcome.
So currently existing, there is really no landscape plan or existing landscape or garden to speak of. So what we're proposing is a full redo of the existing property starting at the front. We will be replacing the existing asphalt driveway with I believe it's called a pea gravel driveway with steel edges. And then we will also be doing extensive introduction of new plantings on all perimeters and at the front and across the front of the house, both to introduce new plantings and create screening for ourselves and for our neighbours. And we will be also putting in a pool compliant fence for the property. There will be some pavers laid at the front entrance, which are on the plan. And to the right of the document that you're looking at, you can see the planting list laid out for you.
Do you have the detail of the gate and the fence?
Yes, I do. Also, for the gate, yes, it's on the left-hand side. The gate and fence will be a 4-foot high timber post with 1x1 PVC coated wire mesh.
Can we see that detail?
No, I haven't got that.
Did you submit that?
No, 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 I didn't understand that was part of the plan, part of the requirement. It has the notes on the side, just detailing 4-foot high with the timber and 1x1 mesh.
Reset or back property. Steve, comments?
I would like to see the details of the fence. I think you're making a good presentation, but I'd like it to be comprehensive. So that's my thought.
Val, comments?
I don't object to the proposal at all. This is like way at the far end of Archibald Way. So, and it's an interesting shaped lot. It's difficult to see the work that he's proposing, but if a fence detail is required, then that's what he has to do.
Judith?
I'm fine with all that he has suggested. Is it you say wire fence, meaning that you'll see wire?
We've seen them around town. It is it's a timber upright posts with a timber top rail, and in between the timber posts are that 4-foot 1x1 black coated PVC wire.
Could you explain what's going on with the pool?
Yes, the pool, that was all approved and permits have been issued with our renovation. So that is already has been built.
Okay, so I guess 2 weeks is not a long time, but what's helpful is to have the detail of the fence, because the height will make sure everything is compliant. And someone made an issue that they would like to see what this gate looks like. For me, I'm on the fence, no pun intended, because way back there. But I mean, if it's not pressing, just to have everything buttoned up on our end in the files and everything's clean and neat, it would be great if you come back in 2 weeks. If it's pressing because it's spring, I could understand.
No, I will organize someone to draw up a architectural representation of the fence detail for both sides.
Yeah, like heights, materials. This is not a big deal. Like I said, this is way back, but if you would be so kind to do that, it would be just splendid.
No problem. Thank you very much indeed. We'll get on to it immediately.
Nice plan. I make a motion to table 55 Archibald Way. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Was that Steve that seconded that?
It was.
Okay, and 12 Montauk Avenue Extension, Mr. Rappaport just signed on.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry to have been late. There was a miscommunication. I didn't realize that I needed to be here, but I'm terribly sorry to have kept you waiting.
Okay, state your name, please, and tell us about your project, 12 Montauk Avenue Extension.
Yes, my name is Peter Rappaport. The project is at 12 Montauk Avenue Extension. My wife and I bought this house, and we're extremely excited to be living there, and we're hoping to move in soon. I believe the filing is for painting the outside and putting on shutters, as well as installing a parking pad in the front. I don't believe there's anything else that was filed for, but I may be incorrect. I apologize. I'm not.
Will you share your screen with us and walk us through what you plan to do?
I'm so sorry. I don't have, I'm looking for the plans from my architect, and I apologize. Someone just called me and told me I had to be on this. I didn't realize that I did. And so if you give me one moment, I can try to find it. And again, I'm terribly sorry.
So what's on the application is exterior paint, new window shutters, reconfigure exterior door opening at rear yard, reconstruct existing outdoor shower, minor additional landscaping in the rear yard.
Got it. Okay. So let me just,
And your architect sent us a PDF, but it came in a form that we cannot open, and we called him to ask for it to be shared sync. So
I am incredibly sorry for this and very unhappy with my architect. So I'm just looking for the plan. I mean, I can describe what we'd like to paint the outside of the house white. The shutters are going to be black, and we'd like to paint the front door red. Very sort of traditional look that my wife wants. And we would also, in terms of the outdoor shower, there's a staircase that we'd like. There's a current staircase, and again, this would be much more helpful if I could show you the link, and I apologize.
So let's do this. It sounds wonderful, but we really do approve plans. So let's just, we'll see you in 2 weeks and just button this up.
Okay. I'm just texting them. I see if my architects could join now, but okay.
It sounds like a great plan. We just need.
Thank you. I appreciate it. In terms of the landscaping, we're not doing anything right now because we've decided to wait on that. So it's really just painting the exterior. We're not doing the staircase, even though we have filed it.
Is
So
Jared,
really
is Jared Crawford your
architect? Hi, this is Jared
is.
Crawford from Architecture.
Hi, Jared.
Oh.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. My sincere apologies. I didn't know that we had to have somebody in attendance.
So
We
Jared,
need to
I'll
see
catch you up.
plans and colors and things like that. Do you have that available for us tonight?
Yes. One moment, please.
I'll let him share.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. I apologize.
Sorry, one more moment.
Jared, can you just give me your address?
My address that I currently reside at?
No, your business address.
Oh my God. I haven't had to say it in so long. 512, let me just verify. We actually haven't been there in a long time.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
Our mail should forward. But anyway, you just need something.
It's 526 West 26th Street.
Yes, please. Yes, that's it. Suite
422.
Thank you.
Okay. I know we do have a different mailing address, and I don't know what that is right off the top of my head.
That's fine.
So Jared, as I had filled them in on, the only thing that, in the application that we're looking to do right now, although we should go through the whole thing. Oh, terrific. There it is. Great. Thank you.
So I understand you were looking for some colors, right? That was the last question I heard.
Yes.
Oh, this is a great time for my computer to freeze. The white, oh God. What if I try and pull this up separately? I might just pull up the actual drawing set. One moment.
I'm gonna think about this so we can second call you in a little bit.
That might be preferable if that's an option.
Let's just do that.
Okay.
There's no problem.
Okay. I'm very, very sorry.
So
I'll
just
do this.
release us and we'll get back to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I'll be right back.
Walker Avenue. 30 Walker.
Hello,
I think
everybody.
Bridget and Frank are on.
Can everybody hear me?
We can.
Hi, Frank. How are
Hello,
you?
everybody. How you doing? Hi, Carrie. All right.
Hello.
So good afternoon, board and Carrie. My name is Frank Sokolowski. I'm here on behalf of our property here at 30 Walker Avenue. I'm also accompanied by my wife at Manchester Mute, my daughter's softball, and Aunt Sherry, our architect. Our proposal to the board, which we believe that it's we thought we might be on new business, is a garage, a second floor, a pool, along with a deck. I am new to the Zoom, but I am ready to share my screen. Carrie, if I have permission.
Go ahead.
All right. Can everybody see?
Not yet.
Just click on it one more time.
It says you are screen sharing live. Is it on?
And then hit new share.
New share. All right. Did that work?
Nope.
Carrie, do you mind in that email, that PDF?
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay. Thank you. So I will talk while we're going through our screen share. So our proposal again is a garage. We are not going for any variances. The garage will be an addition. I do have some photographs that were taken by Zone just to give you guys an idea of what the property layout is. Our second floor, due to us being a family of 5 and being here over 10 years, we obviously love the community. So we wanted to try to create some square footage. So that is our proposal. As far as color scheme, like I said, no variances. We are within proper setbacks with that. Color scheme, we are now proposing a fiber cement board with your permission. The reason for the fiber cement board is we wanted to go for a eco-friendly, natural look, color white. And our proposal is with Anderson 400 windows, color black, just to try to get that contrast, obviously with your approval. In the backyard, we also have our landscape plan. Proposal in the backyard is a 36 by 18 pool, along with the new deck. And we are below that 25, again, code under that 25% of lot coverage. We wanted to make sure that we were obviously appropriate with as per code. So again, I believe, I'm not sure, we were on the interpretation that this was going to be new business. Are you guys able to see any of the plans?
But not yet. I guess they're trying to bring that up. Carrie's trying to bring that up, but
I could try to do my screen share again. I mean, like I said, I have everything.
I'm sorry. I thought it was up already. I thought I
Oh.
was like scrolling through waiting for you guys to tell me to stop.
All right. Is this, can you see my screen if I do it?
I'm doing it now. Can you guys see
Oh,
it now?
Yes.
Yep. Can we see the house, please? The elevations
okay.
of the house.
Yep, hold on.
So you're on discussion because house colors are really important for us to see.
Absolutely.
As far as the landscape is concerned, what that pool elevation is, the deck elevation, 1 foot contours, so we know how this site's being graded. The existing trees on the site, which ones you're planning to keep and which ones you're planning to remove.
Mhm.
And then simple things. What type of brick is that? Is the chimney? What is the detail at the top of the chimney? What is the eave detail? What are the column details and some elevations, like dimensions on the horizontal dimensions of this house, where the top of the ridge is, things that, we are in an aesthetic board. So as
Absolutely.
this house does look very attractive to me, we're missing a lot of these details that what we basically hone in on.
Okay.
So
So the
this is
pre-existing.
where we are.
Absolutely. So I'll start. I mean, I will refer, as far as architecture, I'll refer to my architect. However, in regards to aesthetics, it's a brick chimney. I do have photos of the pre-existing house, which will just be added on top. As far as aesthetics with the pool, I did implement drone footage as far as footage of around the property to try to give you an idea of what our screening would be. I'm also, I believe, a couple of neighbors are on the meeting as well. The only trees that obviously are going, to stay are we implemented green giants, and you can see I have photos. I attached photos in the back. Obviously, we all know their growth rate, and those were planted in mind to try to, again, assist with the screening and elevation of the pools with the
Information
property.
was given to you. I would like someone to speak to the elevation and describe the house, but as
We do have topography and
this was
The house, the
pool
house,
elevations, 1 foot contours, existing trees to stay, existing trees to be removed, eave details depicting on what's going on with the front entry. What are the size of the columns? And if you look at the elevations, well, what is the dimension vertically, horizontally? So we have something to bite into. We're an aesthetic board, and that's what is required, and it is why you are on a discussion.
Okay.
So I would love someone to discuss with us the elevations, the 4 sides of this structure, and walk us through this design.
okay, I will do that. Can we get the first one up the front? It's a ranch house now that is having the roof removed and a second story added, as well as an addition of a garage to the right-hand side and living space above. It is going to be very simple. Everything, the columns are 10 inches square. All the trim is a square edge trim. It's not anything ornate. It's a simple, it's got a gray aluminum standing seam roof in the front, over the front porch. It's got gray asphalt shingles on the roof. All the trim is white, either painted wood or composite. The window sash will be black. And that's all I can tell you on that. But I get you. You want to see it on the plan so that you can approve.
Pull it out for us, and a couple blow-ups of some of these details. I mean, to me, I'm just speaking for myself. I think it's very attractive. We need these things because we need them to approve.
Good. Okay, so if we scroll around the house, I don't think there's anything much else that's happening. The chimney is the brick existing in the pictures being extended up. It exists. It's only 1 story though now. Same sort of in the back elevation. If we could look at the landscape plan just a little close up next. Because I think we have some of that stuff on there, but maybe not all that's required. Are you guys seeing the pictures that were sent along with the application? The board, or are you seeing the?
I've been to the site. I see there's several existing, oak trees on site. It's very important that we know what you're planning to remove and what you're planning
Frank,
to
can
keep.
you speak to, there's some of those that will go because they're in the pool, but we're retaining the ones that we've marked along the back of the property line?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't have to go into our reasons, but we're losing a lot of plants and people asking for forgiveness later. And it really, it's tough. It's a beautiful village. So we really need, and there is a tree code coming down the pike very soon. We would like to know which ones you're taking out and which ones you're keeping.
But doesn't it, okay, all right. It says on
So,
here that we're
so
leaving.
the ones that we'll be keeping will be all of the edging. So it would be the green giants in the back, the green giants on the side, again, to assist with the screening. Obviously, if there's any additional planting, unfortunately, a lot of the oak trees that we will be keeping will be on the side of the property, extending also to the front. So our idea was to try to keep all of the oaks on the side and on the front, and to try to create as much, I would say, space in the back. The oak trees, all those oak trees that are circled, obviously are removed, and then in the back, the green giants that are along the back and the side, we will be keeping, obviously promoting growth to assist with screening, with cooperation, obviously, to assist our neighbors.
Happy to send that email again with some of these details that I think that are important. Finished floor elevation, finished floor of the deck, finished floor of the pool, and how the 1 foot contours are working around that pool. This is simple stuff, but it's important that it's documented.
No, absolutely, I understand.
Val, comments about the architecture?
No, it looked fine. I think the application looks good to move forward pending the information you just asked for.
Judith?
Well, I think it's interesting that you're making a ranch house into a 2-story house. That's an interesting thing to do. I see the garage is facing the street. I don't suppose it's possible to turn it sideways so that you aren't immediately confronted with a giant garage. But other than that, I think it seems like a good plan.
Steve?
I think you said it well, Mr. Chairman. The devil's in the details. I'm a neighbor, so I'd like to know more about this.
So I think you guys are onto something. I think it's an attractive house. If we could just dig into what the details are, and then as well as the gate and the fence going across that someone would see from the street. If you could just clarify that for us, I think we're good to go.
Okay, good, got it, thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Okay. 15 Lincoln Street, please.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me?
We can.
Yes.
My name is Leslie Edwards. I represent the owner, who is looking to do 3 things today: siding and the garage door, and widening the entry to the home. I believe that Carrie has any number of photographs that he has submitted. The siding will be hardy plank lap siding in white. The garage is just replacing a door, and I believe that there are pictures of that. That garage door will be charcoal, and the trim around the windows will be black on the main house. He's already done a landscaping plan approved and taken care of. And I think
I'm just pulling it up right now.
Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it. may I say something while we're waiting for the photos?
Sure.
There was a shed on the property which was in disrepair and half fell down, and they removed the rest of it. And there was some question as to whether there was a requirement to put up another shed in that same place. The owners does not want to do that.
Yeah, you have to pull a permit for that.
To not put up another shed?
You'd have to discuss that with the building department, but if you want to put up a new one, you have to,
Yes, but he does not want to put up a new one. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not explaining myself. He does not want to put up another one, and he was advised by a code enforcer that he must do that. So that was our question.
okay, I'll check with the building department and see what they advise you to do.
Okay, I will happily do that.
Can you see the pictures?
This
Yes,
is
we see the
for-
pictures.
For color of other homes in the neighborhood, because there was a question about whether white was allowed in this neighborhood.
So these aren't the house.
No, this is not the house. This is to show that there are other homes that were white. The home is currently maroon with a green trim,
Okay, because that's what he sent me.
and he would like to make it white.
So what would be really helpful, if you're just changing out the siding, the color, the garage door, and painting the trim, I guess, some other color, you could provide us with photographs depicting and calling out, this is what we're going to change this siding out to be exactly, and have that color for us. The garage door, we're not changing the size of the garage door, but the specs of that door would be great. And then the color of the trim that you want to apply.
Okay, so this is the shed that fell down, those
You
pictures.
don't need to hear about the shed.
You really have to discuss that with the building inspector. I mean, we don't know if there's anything in there. That's not our purview. But if you want to put up a new one, we'd have to.
Okay, so you would like photographs of the colors?
If someone were to go to this site and see exactly what we approved, it has to be clear. And I'm not saying that we need to go crazy and have architectural details drawn up of this house, but if you could, since it seems quite simple, photographs and calling out with some sort of indicator saying, this is the color, this is the material, this is the size of the material, and the length, all the dimensions of the garage door, the color of the garage door, and the trim. Everything that you want to do, if it can be depicted on a photo clearly, then that would be great.
That will be no problem. We'll be happy to comply.
Wonderful. Thank
I'll
you.
let the owner know, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so for Wildwood Drive, please.
It's Jake.
Hi, can you see me? There we go. Good evening.
Good evening, Jake. How are you?
My name is Joy Vanderwatt. I did the drafting and the expediting for this project, and next to me is John.
John Cowan. I'm a landscape designer, and we work together on the grading and in the future more plantings for this property.
Can you guys share?
I can't share, Gary. Sorry, my computer doesn't have these drawings on here.
Okay.
In a different location.
So the situation is that we approved a couple, maybe last month, the pool and the screening around the pool and the fence.
Correct.
And then anything that is adjusted on a property needs to get a C of A, certificate of appropriateness.
I understand.
And happened to see that someone from the property line added like 4 feet of soil to even out the property and cut down a whole bunch of trees.
Yeah, the trees.
So I thought that, we should bring you in and let you know that we need to get a C of A for this grandiose project of yours. You provide us with a plan. It's not a grading plan, but a plan. And when I saw it, it was just the 4 feet of soil added to the property. I was going around looking at projects, and this plan, which was supposed to be a discussion, is implemented already. So for me, it's almost like a code enforcement issue, because I was hoping that we could discuss how to make this property work with the streetscape, have harmony with the streetscape. If there's a photo, the photos, you've raised the property 4 feet. We have a 45-degree angle soil. It looks like an encampment, a barracks, if you will. It's not working with any, and when you removed a lot of trees, you added soil on top of existing trees. So I'm really at a loss here, because I really think that this needs to be before code enforcement. I mean, you're supposed to work with the village and make this property work in concert with the neighborhood. This could be anywhere in the growing zone 7. This could be in Ohio. So I'm not sure where we go from here. I mean, that's like the worst case scenario for me.
Can we speak?
Please.
Okay. What happened was, when they got the okay to start digging the pool, the level of the front yard was as such that it was at a slope, a steep slope towards the road, and without knowing, they took the soil from the hole of the swimming pool and just regraded the front yard to level it more out, and then also planted the trees to screen more for the house, and from the house to the street, and also then for lights from traffic from that heavy, what's the street name, Deerfield Drive.
I still think that this is a code enforcement issue. We've spent a lot of time on the pool and getting that pool approved. There were trees there that were supposed to be saved, oak trees to be saved. Neighbors have been calling about trees getting cut down left and right. And now we're left with this situation, which is some sort of landing pad. It has no sensitivity to the streetscape. It's like someone just, and you were called out on it and asked to come in when it was at the grading stage. And then come to find, they're like, okay, we'll just plant it and see how it goes. And for me, this is not going well. And we've received calls that, what the hell is going on here?
Well, the trees that were taken down in the area of the approved pool and the kids' play area. I mean, if you look at the photo on the back and the rear, all around the edge of on the west side, and then on the rear and the back, and also on Wildwood side, there's a bunch of trees still there. So the only trees that were taken down were
what was not approved.
That were approved, the swimming pool were approved and the play area were approved.
This is not what we're looking at right now. Is not approved at all.
I understand.
And there were trees, the stumps are gone now, but there were several trees that were cut down, and you filled on the other trees, the existing trees, and you still want to fill, I guess, on the Wildwood side. I'm as a discussion, I'm hoping that we can discuss how to fix this situation. If not, I think we defer to code enforcement and work with those guys.
Can you talk about this is a work in progress in the planting, and what is really hitting your eye is that brown mulch bank of mulch. And if that is planted, with some sensitivity, groupings of evergreens and groupings of grasses, it will soften it. And if the grass is redone along the edge of the road, I think it will look a whole lot better.
There is no sensitivity here taken at all. You've cut down indigenous oak trees. You're planning to put like another row of plants and then grasses in front of it. This has zero relevance to the indigenous character of this neighborhood. So I was hoping, as a discussion before you got to this stage, which went in without approval, that we could talk about, mitigating this grading and making it work to how it was before. Now you drive up to this T and you're looking at this fort. And if you're willing to discuss how to fix this situation, if not, I guess
we can discuss.
this is a code enforcement issue at this point.
What's your suggestion? How does this get fixed?
Well, when I initially saw all this going on and the trees cut down and the fill, I asked for 1 foot contours and how you could like smooth out this landscape and make it work. This wall, this evergreen wall is harsh. So we were asking for a plan and discuss a plan, but this is an implemented plan. So like I said, I don't know where to go from here. I'm saying that you should take this, go back to the drawing board and figure out how to fix the grade. So work to somehow working with the existing grade, not a 45-degree angle. And then how to put back some oak trees and make it look like the neighborhood, somehow be sensitive in some regard. I mean, honestly, someone said, hey, I got 2 front yards. I'm just going to wall it off and I'm going to make the best of it and see how throw this at the wall and see if it sticks. And I think it's really unfortunate that you went through the process with us in the pool. That there's an ARB and that's why we're here to preserve the streetscapes of this village.
Mr. Chairman, I think you're representing at least my thoughts very well. And very often this committee this board hears, oh, it was the contractor's fault, but the contractor is the architect and the owner's responsibility. I can't imagine that a contractor gave you an estimate without visiting the site and knowing that there were grading issues before the documents were signed. So this was really no surprise to anybody. And the only surprise it was to the board and to the neighbors. So
thank you,
that's my
Steve.
thought.
Thank you very much for that, Steve. So I'm just going to make this simple. It's either you guys come back with a plan that works with the harmony and the balance and the character of this streetscape, and I guess hopefully put back some of these. I think there was one tree that was on the easement. If you could work with us that way, and we can start looking at plans again. Other than that, I think we just defer you to code enforcement and take it from there.
Can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Can we just discuss what it is about the slope that you don't like? If we made it sort of graded it in and out a little bit, would that be helpful?
That's what's great about a grading plan, so we can see how your vision of this site and the existing environment around it works in concert together. So to sit here and look at a picture, a grading plan is wonderful, and how you break up the groups of plantings to somehow bring this back to the character of the neighborhood was what I was hoping in the discussion. But that is so contrived that it is aesthetically not pleasing to me. But I don't mind going through the board, but where we are is this was put in without an approval, and if you're willing to take another shot at some sensitive design to this site, we can move forward that way. Other than that, call the building department tomorrow and you guys work it out with them.
Now, question is, the swimming pool and the play area were approved. So the client cannot do anything about that at the moment until this is resolved.
There was a tree back that has helped shield the pool from the neighboring property to the south, which is gone, and some other trees that are absolutely gone. And that was it's a tough site that you have. And we kind of like went with the Green Giants to help give you a backyard and make the pool work and the basketball court and all that stuff. But now all of a sudden, we're not talking about that. We're talking about what happened at the streetscape. And yeah, there are a lot of people who are just scratching their heads and saying, what the hell happened here? So I given you the options.
So we can add some more plantings. We can make.
No, we need a plan to review. It's like taking things away and adding indigenous plants and looking around your neighborhood and see what the vocabulary is there that exists.
Yes, we need to add some oak trees. There are oak trees that need to be planted.
I think a grading plan with 1-foot contours, elevations, and a planting plan that does not include plants on the village property would be helpful. And that is my advice.
Okay.
Bob, Bob, you have to recuse yourself.
Yes.
Judith, do you have comments?
No, I hope they can figure out something to fix this problem.
Steve Williams? Val?
I think he summed it up pretty well, Mr. Chairman.
Steve, I appreciate your comments. I was just trying to come to some sort of resolution, some options. So anyway, thank you, people, for applicants for entertaining us tonight. with this project.
Kenny,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
10 Yale Road, please. 10 Yale. 11 Ackerley Street, please. 11 Ackerley.
Yes. Hi, it's Tom Amico. How are you?
Great. Please tell us about your project.
So we purchased the home last year, and upon taking possession of it, we realized that the house was actually in much worse shape than we had thought initially. The house, I don't know if you're familiar with the house, but it's covered in ivy, which had grown through the siding, the doors, the windows, and permitted water and pests to get into the house. So what we're trying to do is return it to what it would have looked like without the ivy, and actually having siding and windows that prevent the elements from getting in. And also at the same time, we want to raise it 12 inches, the front of it 12 inches, so we can have a little bit more headroom in the bedroom that was pre-existing. The bedroom's already up there. So
look at the elevations, and then we'll just break into Zach's assessment of the historic fabric of this
sure.
structure.
I think I'm not the best on computers. I apologize. Share. So this is what the proposed elevation, the south, so the front of the house, with the ivy removed and cedar shingle on the front, which is what's there underneath the ivy now, and a similar asphalt roof that's currently there as well, but it would be all new materials. And I think we submitted samples of each of the siding and the roof.
Carrie, I don't know who's controlling this shared sink, but can we get the architectural rendering of the elevation showing the existing ridge line and the new? So I'd like to have Zach give an overview on this project.
I'm not controlling it.
I have it right now. Let's see. No. I apologize. That's the side elevation. They want to see the current. Are you able to still see my screen? Or you
Yeah,
see-
that's great. So
You're not
I'm
seeing my
gonna
board,
just,
right?
Zach, our historian,
Mhm.
Zach, if you could just help us out with the history of this house and
Sure.
I guess how we look at ridge lines,
Well-
existing ridge lines.
Right. So I'm trying to understand this drawing. I think the east elevation shows the profile. I'm just trying to interpret that because we're not seeing a drawing of the existing.
Yeah, so the white is the original, like,
Okay.
and then the shingle is the
Right. So we're not seeing a drawing of the existing, but we are seeing a profile superimposed on the proposed elevation, which is most apparent on the east side, on the east elevation.
correct.
So, and that suggests that the proposal is to raise the front, which would be the south elevation, and then to add to the back so that the ridge, I don't see any dimensions that call this out, but I'm going to guess that that proposed new ridge line is in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 feet higher than the existing. I'm just trying to interpret because those dimensions are not shown. But in effect, before we get to that, I would say this is not an addition that is appropriate. This is a contributing house in the district, and so the additions or proposals for enlarging houses are handled in a very specific way, and they have to do with extending off to the back, let's say, and respecting the scale and the massing of the existing building. So I don't see that that's happening here.
Basically, we're charged with maintaining the character of the historic district. So when you drive down Ackerley or any other street in the historic district, what you saw when this struck, what we want to, as you could have the new ridge would be lower than the original ridge unless it's set back a bit, where, you know, we take into each application separately. We look at all the parameters, but generally 99% of the time, the original ridge is the max height. Unless there are other mitigating factors that can help maintain that original structure as being the dominant structure on the property. So that said, right out of the gate, we have some issues maintaining that original character, with this house becoming a completely different house than what it was originally. Is that correct, Zach?
Okay, so you're saying if we tried to keep the current peak that's there, and would we be able to raise from there back?
That would be the dominant height. That would be like the max
Correct.
height.
Okay.
Unless there's some way on this property you could maintain that streetscape dominance of that original structure. Right now, you've created a different house with this old house.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the front wall of this house has been removed and rebuilt.
Yeah, that was, somebody got ahead of themselves again. I heard the earlier comment not to blame a contractor, so I won't do that.
Right.
It was, the foundation walls collapsed, and when they were rebuilding that, there were additional issues with the termites and rot from water damage. But so that went ahead, unfortunately, to try to stabilize the house.
So I think having an image of what the house looked like to begin with would be essential, because I don't think, Dean, that the board can judge any proposals for what to do if you don't know what the original house looked like. And we
So
can.
you would take that ridge line from the street and any other ridge line that you propose as an addition would be subordinate to
Oh,
that.
there it is.
So this is what we would
There it
see.
is.
So that's
Yeah.
the magical architecture that has to happen.
The house is described in the nomination form, which I think the owners should familiarize themselves with. It's the nomination form from 1994. It's section 7, page 25. And it talks about it being a 2-story, which is not actually accurate. This is a 1.5-story house. If it had been of 2 full stories, you would have had less to worry about, but this is 1.5, so it's much lower. But the 2/2 sashes are described as being appropriate, to the house. And your proposal shows the 2/2 configuration, so I think you're on track there. But the idea of raising this up and then rising up with the roof would really effectively transform the scale and the massing of this original house. And that's going to go against the kind of the principles that the board is looking for. So I think it's very good to have an image of this, a return to this front facade, and then a more creative way of going back and enlarging in some way is just would be a proposal the board could look at.
Judith?
Yes, I would be in favor of keeping the original structure just as it is, and then coming up with a way to maybe go out the back if you need more space. But essentially the way it looks now, I mean, without the ivy, obviously, is the way it should look from the street.
Bob Adams?
I think I'll go along with what Zach has said on that. It can't go up on top.
Steve Williams?
Yeah, I agree with Zach. I feel it's so unfortunate when people purchase these houses and don't understand the restrictions on them. But so I empathize with you, but the Secretary of Interior's code is what it is.
I mean, I'm going to ask Val for his opinion, but we drove by and it looks like someone took a Sawzall to the front of this house, and it was, for us that's devastating. So I understand that you had an issue with your contractor, but boy, that's like the worst thing that could happen. Val?
It's a challenging house to add on to because the scale is so small, but I think in terms of historic preservation, if as an architect, we always work with what's existing, especially from the streetscape, it has to remain. So I think the key thing to do is to see how you can add on to the house from the rear portion of that front-facing gable. And I think do it in such a way that it doesn't overwhelm the scale of the structure. So it can be added onto, but it looks like you're facing some variances also. I'm not sure if that's correct. I was looking at the pyramid. So I don't know if you have to encounter the zoning board to even get permission to do what you're doing.
Val, thank you for articulating that so well. Applicant, hopefully that was helpful. And certainly we look forward to seeing your new plans.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. 286 Division Street, please.
Hello, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Carrie. I am Ricardo Romo Leroux. I reside at 155 Germain Avenue. I am the architect working on the plans for 286 Division. I would like to ask for permission to share the screen.
This is a discussion because we received a plan, I think Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know which day, but it was not within the allotted time.
The plans were submitted 2 weeks ago.
The board did not see the plans.
Dean, these are the ones that I talked to you about that Jim had?
It is what it is. We have to
Okay.
see the, whatever the case.
Okay,
we
I
need
was
to
just,
be able to-
just clarifying it, so the applicant wasn't upset.
Thank you.
So do I have permission to share the drawing so we can
Please.
start discussion?
You can go ahead, Ricardo.
Thank you. I don't know how this is done. Hold on. Okay. So let me start by showing the existing site. So it is, we're talking about a property on the corner of Grant Street and Division Street. So on the Division side, we're facing the bus depot of the high school. There is one house and then the high school proceeds. And then on Grant Street, we do have some houses. It is a non-contributing structure. It's a split house built in 1991. As you can see here, this existing property, and we're proposing to demolish the house and replace it with a new structure. Just to give you an idea of the existing conditions, we have the split level that you saw before here, Grand Street over here on the south side, Division on the east. And we have a sloping lot, which is at level 51 at the high point and remains fairly flat along the street, but slopes steeply towards the opposite corner, which will be the northwest corner. We are proposing to, by the code, we are allowed to build, it's a 0.53 acre lot. By code, we have a GFA of maximum 3,790, and we're proposing to get close to that. The site plans that I will show you shortly, we will have a 10% building coverage, including the pool house, and we will have a 21% lot coverage, but we're allowed 25%. So we're staying within under the numbers that we're allowed. I will start. This will be the elevation from Grand Street. So we basically, it's a corner lot, so we wanna create a street front to be the front of the house to be Grand. And then we would, going back to the side, we would keep the house far away from Division as to avoid the noise from the bus depot across the street. And also, we would like to create, like, let's say, the garden of the house on the flatter part of the site, because the opposite corner is very difficult to build. So looking at Grand Street, then we have a rendering of the house with the colors that we're proposing. Then on the left side, there will be a driveway that slopes to the back. And then ideally, we would like to have a garage on the basement level. Then going down to these are the proposed materials. We will have a horizontal siding on the front, painted shoreline, then a dark gray called stone for trim work, and windows will be black, blue door, and then red cedar shingles on the roof and white cedar shingles on the siding of the house. The only side of the house.
Can we see an elevation? We're looking at the site plan. We saw one side of the building, I think.
Can you see there?
We're looking at the site plan.
Okay, let me, I may be doing something wrong. Let me see. Okay, so, okay. Can you see it there?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the elevation on Grand Street that we would do. So as I mentioned, the site remains fairly flat along Grand and also on Division. We wanna keep the house towards the west side of the property so as to keep it far away from Division Street because that's where the bus depot is across. So basically on the right side of this elevation, that's where I guess the garden of the house would be. And then on the left side would be where the driveway is and it slopes down. So these are the finishes of the house, the color selection. And then we would do red cedar roof and white cedar siding. The front of the house only would have a horizontal shiplap painted this color, like an off-white gold shoreline. And then there is a small retaining wall along Grand Street that becomes bigger towards the back that we would do some stone cladding, field stone pattern. Here's a sketch I made kind of to give you, it's not necessarily eye level, it's probably a little above, but it's kind of the idea of what the approach on Grand Street towards Division would be and what it would look. These are some landscape finishes that I guess is where a discussion, maybe we may go into detail later when when it becomes a formal presentation, but we're using basically privet hedges, we're proposing arborvitaes, some laurel that you won't really see from outside, and then leland cypresses, hydrangeas, and so this is
It
the
looks
site.
very nice. I'll say this. From the site perspective, it'd be great to know what existing trees are staying or being proposed to be removed, proposed contours and how all this wonderful stuff works out. As far as the house is concerned, the square footage, we take into context the homes close to this space. So it'd be interesting to know in some research, hopefully that you will do for us that, next door is 10,000 square feet. This one's 400 square feet. So we have something to judge the size of this house. The code may say something, but we do have the purview here to work within the confines of the neighboring structures.
Okay.
So those are my comments, and plantings. The Grand Street side, plantings are 3 feet back. I think it's very interesting. It's just for me, we're as a board, we're going to need that vital information.
Okay, can I continue with just explaining a little more before? I just want to get more input from you before we do the proposal. As I thought, we were already like not as a discussion item, but it's okay. We'll wait till the next meeting. But we're keeping all the mature trees on the side are staying. There are some small trees that will out there, like more like towards where the house is going. But the site as it is already very clear. There are mature trees all along there is 5 mature trees along the streets. And then most of them are along the neighboring lines, which we intend to keep. Then going back to, let me just show you the elevations that you will see, because I just show you a render of the front, but basically this is kind of what we're proposing to do for the other side. So this will be the Grand Street side. This is the rear side, which you don't really see from any of the streets. Basically the low point of the side. So on this point, the basement is exposed at one point, and it becomes, it seems like a 3-level house. And then this is the Division Street side, and which, if you're actually looking from the street, this will be after the hedging is proposed. And this is the west side of the property, which is the sloping side. And we meet the pyramid line. I the basement becomes exposed on one side, and this is kind of how it would look from the neighboring property. It's inevitable.
Just to reiterate, because I'm going to go through the board for their initial reactions, but existing trees to stay, you could bubble the plan, and trees to be removed would be super important. The other, the thing that sticks out in my mind is the volume of this home, and it would be really, really important for us going forward to know what houses of this size are in existence somewhere within some reasonable radius of this site.
Okay.
Judith, do you have initial
Yes.
comments?
I agree with you, Mr. Chairman, that it's quite large, and I would like to know what some of the neighboring houses look like. I could go and look myself, but it should, I hope, fit in. And did you say that the garage is underneath?
Yes. So if
Yeah.
I go to the site,
Yeah, that's good.
it will be on this side, and we basically this driveway slopes down, and then you make a right and you go in the basement.
Yeah. Very
So
nice.
please-
Well, yes, I'm concerned about the size and keeping the trees, but I think it looks promising.
It's an important detail, sir, because in the interest of time, and we've been down this road before, once you're over 3,000 square feet, you go to a public hearing, and you're going to have 14 people talking about the size of this house. So it's really important that you guys do your homework and nail that down.
Okay. So you say over
Val?
3,000 square feet, we go to public hearing.
Yeah, so you're in that realm.
Okay.
Val, initial thoughts?
You know, I like the, I think the design, you know, fades nicely into the landscape. And just looking at the contour, it doesn't appear to be a large house until you look at the back where it really drops off. But, you know, at first glance, I think the renderings are very helpful, you know, to get a better perspective. The black and white drawings, just visually, it's a little bit overwhelming, you know, to me. And I think, like Judith said, maybe to visit the property and see how this house works with the landscape. And I think that would make me feel more comfortable with the scale of the structure.
Steve Williams?
I believe I know the property. I think that it's a little challenging, and I think that this is a good job of blending into the existing landscape. Given the proximity to, you know, the bus barn, the school bus barn or whatever, I think it makes sense the way it's laid out. So again, proportion to the neighbors and maintenance of some of the old growth trees, I think are probably some of the significant items you'll face during a public hearing.
Bob Adams?
I don't have any comment on this. I don't know the area where this house is located.
So applicant, I think it's a nice presentation. Our points are, you know, we've been through this a lot. So I think they're poignant. I think you're onto something. Val's point about working with the grades and the garage, you know, utilizing the basement for the garage. And I think it's well thought out, but the details are important to go forward. So good luck with
Can I add one more thing, and I would like to get your input before you let me go?
Please.
So one concern from the building inspector was that the pool we meet the setbacks from Division Street, but he was concerned about placing the pool on this side because it will be too visible from the high school. And one thing that we wanted, and maybe this will be a zoning variance, would be to, besides the row of Leland cypress along Division Street facing the high school, if we could put a 6-foot fence on this side to just completely block view of the pool. Then along Grand Street, we will have a 4-foot fence. with behind hedges, but we were thinking that maybe it would be best for the town not to just kind of completely block the view from along Division Street. And I don't know if this is the right approach and whether you would be keen to approving something like that, given assuming that the rest of the house gets worked out to your approval.
The evergreen walls, you know, we do a lot of evergreen things in the backyard to help mitigate that view shed between different properties and high activity spaces like a pool. But working with what, you know, Division Street and Grand Street looks like, opposed to a gigantic green wall, would be helpful. You could break that that up. I don't know if a 6-foot fence is going to do that. You can't put that in the front yard anyway.
Yeah.
You have 2 front yards. So there's a lot to work with there, and certainly we will all be visiting the site, but I think you're onto something, but a gigantic green wall could be problematic.
Okay. Okay, so maybe we do a second row of landscape. So we keep lower along the street, and then we do setback, we do more hedging to protect the view from
You could take hints from the Division Street and Grand Street and try to work with that vocabulary.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be a start.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Board, for your time.
Thank you very much. And the Sag Harbor Garden Center, please.
You know, I don't think she's going to be coming. Remember, we told her she didn't have to.
Oh. Okay, Board, the Sag Harbor Garden Center has this gigantic, well, it's not a gigantic sign. Do you have a picture of the sign? There it is.
Yep.
Oh.
They want to put that sign back on this building.
Which building?
This one right here.
Oh.
Right there where the circle is.
Move the sign or have 2 signs?
Move it.
Oh.
So how do you feel about the sign that's already existing moving back into the property? Any comments?
Seems fine to me.
It's a wonderful idea, right?
It's good.
So, I guess we just put them on for the next meeting. I don't know where they are because they're not on this agenda. So is this like new business, Carrie?
It's new business. Remember, Dean, we talked about it when you were in here at the last time today.
You know, you're our resource. I'm asking you a question. So thank you. We need you. I make a motion to approve the Sag Harbor Garden Center because I don't know what the address is.
It is 11 Spring Street.
11 Spring Street. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Carrie, you did a great job tonight. We have one more. We have going back to Montauk Avenue. And Carrie, thank you very much for making this all happen tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello again. Or, oh, I'm sorry, continue.
Hi, I'm Paolo with Architecture Information, representing the owners of 12 Montauk Avenue Extension. Firstly, apologies for the hiccup in getting our group here together. So we're seeking a certificate of appropriateness to some minor renovation to a house which our clients just purchased. It is a relatively new house. The building plans were approved in 1999, and hopefully you'll find our proposal appropriate. I will share the screen and walk you through it. So the scope of work that we're proposing, firstly, starting in the front, we're proposing a gravel parking pad that is located behind the setback and behind the existing tree line. So we're not proposing altering any of the planting to make this happen. This condition exists in other properties. This is, for example, the next door neighbor has a similar parking pad. We're proposing one very similar, and then another neighbor on the same circle, has the same thing.
We just want to talk about your property. What is the, are you maintaining that 5-foot offset for the parking?
Yes, we are. So this is the site plan. That dimension is shown in a later plan. So yes, the 5-foot dimension is maintained.
Okay, so there's that. And what is the material on top of this court?
So in terms of materiality, the parking pad itself will be, we're proposing crushed bluestone, and then the paver walkway, we're proposing bluestone.
What size are those pavers?
So the size of the pavers, Jared, if you could, they're roughly 2 foot by 3 foot.
Great.
Each.
Yes.
And then continue, please.
Sure. The next thing we're proposing is some cosmetic upgrades to the house. So the existing house is a taupe-ish color with white trim. And we're proposing turning the house color to white with black trim. Those colors are shown here. And with the addition of shutters and painting the front door. The colors that we're proposing are in the palette of natural colors. The white is not a bright white, the black is not a deep black, and the red we're proposing is from the manufacturer's historical color series. And those swatches are right here.
It's not a historical house, but let's start with the shutters. Judith, do you have comments about the shutters?
No, they look fine. Although it's odd that there's shutters on top and not on the bottom, so that might make it look a little top heavy. But I think it's fine.
My question regarding the shutters, it's kind of odd that you don't have them on the bottom, but are they like true to size? So maybe they're not workable. I don't know what they are, but proportionally, if you were to take those shutters on either side, would they cover that window as if they were working?
That's what we're proposing, and that's the reason why we're not proposing them on the lower windows, because the rhythm of the 3 openings is broken up by that center window, therefore not allowing proportionate shutters on those windows.
Mm-hmm.
Al, do you have a comment on the shutters?
I think that they don't need to appear functional. So the 2 spaces between the center window, they would dictate the width of the shutters on the 2 outer windows. And I think that then it won't look as if like what happened, why are there no shutters on the bottom? That's just personal opinion. It seems that the group is thinking the same way.
Val, I think that's what Judith picked up, and that's why I asked your opinion, because you need, as long as proportionally that these shutters should seem like they would work. So we see small ones sometimes, it's really funny, but what sticks out to me is that there are no shutters on that first floor. And I think it, like Val just said, and I think Judith was looking for that. If you could balance it out, that would be super helpful.
A
Bob
shutter on
Adams?
the left and a shutter on the right.
Yeah, if you look at just take a quick look at the 2 upper windows, Jared, and you can see they would almost stack with, if you put shutters on the lower window, I think yeah. And look how that, now it harmonizes with up above.
Mhm.
So if you could buy 4 shutters, I'd say like that's a nice look.
And then, just so I'm clear, you could potentially approve this scenario?
Yep. I mean, it's up to the board to take a vote, but I think aesthetically that looks nice.
Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Rappaport. I apologize. I had to put my daughter down to sleep. My wife is on a much deserved vacation from the children, so I'm with you now.
I mean, I would entertain, how that, maybe both ways, excluding those interior shutters. I don't know if that's just maybe provide both options for us. I don't know.
Okay, we'd prefer to exclude the interior shutters because that is an irregular condition. It breaks up that rhythm of three.
Yeah.
And in our studies of it, by including those middle shutters, it kind of drew a little more attention to it.
That works for me. But
Yeah.
there are 5 of us. Steve Williams.
He keeps coming in and out.
It's the last one, Steve. We need you. Okay, so please continue with your presentation.
Okay. The next scope item. So we talked about paint. We've talked about painting the house white. We talked about painting the shutters black. The front door. We're proposing painting it red. And currently there's a PVC handrail over the portico, which that is not an accessible Juliet balcony. So we're proposing removing that in its entirety.
Oh,
good move.
Good.
Great.
We agree.
Those are the things to the front of the house. To the back of the house, we're doing a little bit of interior bathroom work, which is filed with the building department. And how that reads on the exterior is the existing outdoor shower, which you see in this red line in the existing window. We're proposing moving the outdoor shower over slightly. It's not visible from the street. And we're proposing a new door that would connect the bathroom to the outdoor pool area.
Sounds great to me.
Yep.
In terms of landscaping, the only landscaping we are proposing in this application is the addition of hydrangeas in this area here, which is shown on our site plan. So right there, new hydrangeas.
So I guess, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make
the
that
12
motion.
Montauk Avenue?
I'll
As
second.
presented? I'll make that motion to approve it. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. So
Great.
as
Thank
far
you.
as the shutter is concerned, I think it's, we approved it, but the 2 outside ones would.
In terms
Yeah,
of
I think the 2 outside shutters.
We'll do
are
it.
fine. Yeah.
We're more than happy to do it if it makes you guys happy. We want to be good neighbors.
Good.
Okay, great.
And by the way, I'm sorry, I addressed Jared, who is not, I thought he was the applicant, but it's Paulo, right?
No, I apologize. I'm Peter Rappaport. I'm the owner of the house.
Okay.
I had to step away for a moment.
Yeah, no,
And I
I
appreciate-
think the 2 shutter, we approved it, but the 2 shutters look good.
Great. A couple follow-up questions. In terms of procedure, do we need to submit an updated drawing that shows those 2 shutters?
Well, I'm gonna make notes on the plans
Great,
and then stamp it. So
great. And then I
whatever
have,
you need to hand into the building inspector is between you and him.
okay, some jurisdictional questions. This door here is rotting, and at some point in the future it will be repaired in kind. Does that need to be permitted, or does that fall under ordinary repairs?
I think you'd double check with the building inspector.
If it's in like in kind, if it's the exact same door,
Exact same thing,
then you can go
just without
ahead.
the rotting wood.
You can go ahead.
Well,
The next jurisdictional question is at some point in the future, the owners are considering a deer fence. There's a partial deer fence, but it's not continuous. They're considering replacing it on the back property line. Is that
let's go back to, you can repair things architecturally, but removing and replacing a door, you need to talk to the building inspector. He may direct you back to us, but you need to double check with that. As far as a fence, you'll have to come back with us, some sort of an application to discuss that with us.
okay? Great. And then Peter, did you have a question about landscape maintenance?
Yeah, there are a number of in the back, so certainly not visible from the street, but abutting the preserve, which is in the back. There are a number of what I've been told are invasive Russian olive trees that we have been told are not good, are not native, attract deer, and are not good for the other plants. We would like to remove those. We don't want to touch any of the trees. We love them. But we've been told there are a couple of Russian olive trees that we've met with numerous landscapers and they've all said, those shouldn't be here. You should take them out. But I just, I don't want to start taking trees out without asking anyone. So.
Well, why don't you
They're
just
not
come
very
back with your fence plan and what you want to remove, and then we could just take a look.
Terrific.
Great. Thank you
Great.
very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion. I
Is there a second?
motion to adjourn.
Steve, this is a quiz. Steve?
He's not here.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Thank you very much.
Good
Bye,
night.
guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Night.
Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome, Val. Have a great night.
You're welcome. I can't imagine anyone opposing closing of the meeting.
Bye, guys. Have a good
Good
one.
night, Mr. Adams.